Flavio, hello, and thank you very much for joining us. How are you doing?
Thanks for your invitation. I'm doing great, thank you.
Excellent. Very very good to hear. Are you at home at the moment?
Yeah, I'm currently home on a boat enjoying the sun. So
Oh,
Oh,
lovely.
lovely.
yeah,
Well, thanks for taking your time out of your break to join us. Um, and I want to first set the scene and take you back to when you were first involved in alpine skiing. And what was it that made you want to be an alpine skier?
so I started skiing at the age of 2 in teen with my dad. My dad was a ski instructor at the USF of Tignes Tignes Vaclaret, sorry, in teen. And I to be honest, I just started skiing, enjoying the slopes, enjoying speed, curving, and all of this. And then I remember my parents brought me to the 2009, so I was 4 years old, World Champs in Val d'Isere, if you remember. And we bought there was a CD at the time of just, videos and recaps of the World Champs. And I remember I kept watching it over and over and over again. And I just told my parents, well, that's what I want to do. And since then, I've just been still enjoying, skiing and but really trying to progress and setting goals on the way and just having fun.
Hmm.
Good.
So it was from a very early age that you knew that this was the path you wanted to take.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess from the age of 4. But anyways, in everything I do, I always, if I enjoy what I'm doing, I always like to set myself goals. To have objectives and to have a direction on where to go. I'm usually not the kind of guy that just does something to do it. So yeah, skiing was, it all went naturally. I think, yeah, just when I saw the World Cups and all of this, I just knew I wanted to do that. But it's at the time I was also doing some football, and I was also, hesitating between football and skiing, because I was enjoying both and I had big goals in both. So it was a bit of a hard choice, but at the end of the day, I think I enjoyed skiing a bit more and being in the mountains, the environment, the passion of skiing that people, you know, have in countries of Austria, Switzerland, and stuff, which really makes you want to be an alpine skier and win one of those races. So,
Yeah, I can understand that, Flavio, but tell me, do you still get fun out of it? Although it's hard
oh, of
work.
course, I always get fun out of it because I think from the point you don't get fun, and it's not an easy task. Like you're on the slopes almost every day, training, physical training, being strong mentally, everything that goes with it, sacrifices, not being able to have a kind of a normal life of people our age. It's hard, but I think I've chosen this path. And skiing, when you look at the office, that's how we call it, the office of the day, of being on the slopes when you have a sunrise or something. It's just incredible, and even maybe sometimes on some days you don't get perfect conditions, maybe the feeling is not as good. I still enjoy the process of getting better every day, of pushing myself, trying to see my limits. So I guess fun is something you also need to seek for, and I think that's what I'm doing. So
Yeah, from what you're saying, you're definitely enjoying the journey.
yeah, I am. I am.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Um, we know that it started in teen, obviously a great place to be able to grow up. But tell us about your time with Apex 2100 and the fantastic project that they've got there.
So Apex has definitely changed my life. I joined at the age of 13, if I remember. Um, And yeah, so 6 years ago. And initially, I joined because they proposed a really interesting program with some very, professional skiing project with very good coaches. Also in terms of sports and conditioning in general, they proposed something really interesting, nutrition and all of this. So to me, it was first a pathway that could lead me to the top, but obviously there was uncertainties because, well, there was no one. I joined the second year of its creation, so we had no proof that it worked. But they were quite convincing, and they also proposed a very well top level education, which in a sport such as skiing, there's risks every time. So my family and I believe that education is still a really big part of our career. So I had the chance of going to St Edward's, Oxford, which is one of the top school in the UK. At the IGCSE level, did the IGCSE, and then joined Apex to finish the IB, which I finalized a few days ago, which is great. But yeah, then it's really individual. Everything is made for you in your sense, and so you can express yourself to the best and reach your limit as fast as possible. So they've been amazing, supporting me through that journey. And 6 years, now I'm not with them anymore because I'm in the French team, but it was a good thing, and even making very good friends and stuff like this. So it was great.
Yeah. Do you feel that the World Cup dreams might not have been possible without the support of that program?
Well, it's hard to say because at the end of the day, it's still you that has to make the job. So it's still you, having that dedication to work every day, and to make everything clear in your mind to be able to reach your limit. But I think they played a big role because I had really amazing support there. Just mentally, in terms of everything, to be honest. Like, for example, last year, so I had Rufo del Castillo, who is now my service guy with Head, but he came from Apex, and it wasn't planned, but he came with me on the first Europa Cup in Zinao, where I performed, and Apex decided to lend it to me the whole season, to support me through that. And this is the kind of stuff that not everyone would do, because it's a big investment, and it was not his job. It was not their plan initially, but because they have this passion and they want to support their athletes from the very beginning to the top. They do such kind of stuff to really you know go with the athlete and support them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we spoke to someone that I'm sure you've worked very closely with at Apex, Sasha Rurik, who
Yeah.
has of course got so much experience and can very can put it very well how it's going to be like for people like you aspiring to do great things. And do you think that the fact you've got people like him who've got so much experience and know how to get to the very top, this almost made your dream even more possible, even more realistic?
For sure. Well, Sasha definitely brought something different to the academy. He just has so much contacts everywhere in terms of getting slopes. We basically had the same quality training as a federation. Because he's brought really that contact to us of getting the good slopes, getting the good timings everywhere. Even with I didn't really need this because I already had something with Fisher, but in terms of even skis, he brings so much relationship between the brands and the athletes, to help, because it's not an easy part to find sponsors to support you, especially when you're from small countries or stuff like this. So he's brought this really big part of Apex, which is now a very strong point. But definitely, yeah, he's been working a lot with AJ Guinness in the past, and he's learned a lot from the athletes he's coached, even with Ted Ligety. So he's definitely brought this experience to me, and he's been like kind of a sort of a dad. Whenever you're unsure about something, you can always ask him, and he's got the experience to support you. So it was great.
Are you where you hoped and thought you would be at this stage?
Well, it's I'm not sure, to be honest, because of course it's where I hope to be, but I didn't expect it to be as fast, um, because to be honest, I was lucky enough to be quite fast. It's only my, I think, fourth year phys, so it was quite fast. But at the end of the day, it's just doing as much as you can, train as much as you can, get that professionalism through the year. And I always I always say to myself that if I do everything to perform in the winter, I should perform, and then I'll go at the rhythm it should go. But I'm not really setting myself some goals on where I should be in 2 years, or where I should have been.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Are you an athlete who enjoys all the training?
Yeah, pretty much. I enjoy the skiing training. I am not a big fan of going to the gym and stuff. Like I like sports that are outside. Like for example, I would rather play a good game of football than going to the gym lifting weights. But I enjoy the process of getting better. So going to the gym, I'm trying to find fun in going to the gym. Obviously, you know, they like life wherever whatever you do, there's always moments you enjoy. There's always moments you don't enjoy as much. But
Yeah.
it's still the same process of trying to find that fun everywhere.
Yeah, because it's part of the process, you're happy to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
In one of the first interviews we did for the podcast, way back in February, I believe it was, we spoke to the Swiss racer Arnaud Bosset, and the way he spoke about his procedures and the way that his World Cup development was coming on, it's sort of, it seems quite similar to yourself in that he only made his World Cup debut in December. You made your Europa Cup debut a couple of Decembers back, and
Yeah.
talking of this quick progression, the fact that you've already been able to score 2 Europa Cup podiums, is that the sort of element that you're saying has gone quicker than you might have expected?
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's, as I said, I didn't, at the beginning of this year coming to Zinao, I knew that I had the skiing. I knew that I was skiing fast. I knew that I was enjoying what I was doing, but I didn't really know in terms of, where that could get me to. So what I did is just keep it simple, did my best in 2 runs, finished seventh, and got my first qualification for the World Cup. And, I think what's the lesson that everyone should learn is that keeping it simple is definitely what works most of the time. So yeah.
Very good. And how about that World Cup debut on home snow in Val d'Isère? What was that like?
Incredible. To be honest, it's such an experience. It was the first time I actually told myself, well, my dream came true. It's because even after the qualification in Zina, of course I was there was strong emotions and stuff, but you didn't really realize how it was, because this, especially in Val d'Isère, like this has been the World Cup that has made me dream for so many years. The World Cup I went to every year, and it was a really important event for me. So being part of that event and being on the other side of the stage was just incredible. And of course, it was one of the hardest races that was on the circuit for years. It was such a tough race, but I still enjoyed the moment, and I don't think I really went to, you know, perform. Of course, I went to perform, but I firstly went to enjoy. Because the first World Cup start, there's only one, so I think you should really go to enjoy, and that's what I did. And then I remember just going back home after, which is just next to Val, and I was just to my parents, well, I think this is really what I want to do, because the emotions were so strong that even I did only one run, and I was exhausted for like the next 3 days because I had such a big boost of emotions. I was like, how can I be so tired after one run, but it was just such a boost of emotions and everything that it was amazing. I don't think anyone can realize it before actually living that dream. So
Did it almost add to how special the moment was? Not that it wouldn't have been special anywhere else, but the fact that it was in Val d'Isère, virtually on the doorstep of where you learned to ski, did that add to it?
Of course, because all the friends that were at school with you that you haven't seen for so long, they came. All of Apex, they canceled their lessons to come support me. All the Club de Sport, the teens, so the young guys, all my friends, everyone came. So it's it's just everything was there, everything. So of course I'm pretty sure, even though World Cup start, the first World Cup start is always the first World Cup start. So even like at my second World Cup start in Adelboden was also incredible, but just the fact of being at home was really special.
You say that the first one, obviously, we'll push that one back. You've done that one. You really enjoyed it. What is your feelings when you're starting races? Do you want to get a good time, or are you aiming for podiums all the time?
Are you talking about the World Cup circuit, the World Cup races?
Yeah. Well, both Europe, either. Yeah.
So for next year, you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Well, the goal now that I've joined the World Cup group, the goal is to join the World Cup circuit, perform on that circuit. The goal is for the World Cup circuit to be my main circuit. Of course, with the NGS, I will be switching a bit, but it all depends on my performance. But as I said, I don't really set myself specific goals. I just try to progress as much as I can before the first race, before Zolden. And then in Zolden, I'll really try to do 2 runs of my best skiing, and I will see where that brings me. Of course, I would enjoy so much a top 30, a top 20, or even better. We don't know. But one thing that I know is that if I do my best, I should achieve my goals. So,
Yeah.
so that's what the plan is.
That's good.
So I presume the way you're speaking, you're probably going to start in Zolden in October.
Yeah, that is the plan.
So are you, to a certain degree, a little bit frustrated that this season, or the season just gone, your first 2 starts were probably on the 2 hardest giant slalom courses on the circuit? And do you feel that potentially on a course that's more similar to the Europa Cup pistes you've been skiing on, that you might have a better opportunity to crack the top 30?
I see what you mean, but to be honest, no, I'm not frustrated because I, I, I knew, and even I think the coaches knew that at the end of the day, I was not ready for the World Cup last year. It's I was only, I was 18. I was 18 years old. It was completely new. I had only done 1 year of Europa Cup, which I think is enough, but it was quite fast. And then starting on the 2 hardest slopes, but even on maybe easy slopes, but there's no easy slopes in World Cup. All slopes are really challenging and really demanding. But they knew, and I knew that I was not ready for the World Cup. So I have no frustration. I just enjoyed my moment. I enjoyed I learned a lot. It was more experiences that could allow me to learn about the circuits, about the environment, because there's a big gap between the Europa Cup and the World Cup. So I think those races were for this, learning about this. But this year, the races will be with the goal of performing, doing my best skiing to get something out of them, So no, I have no frustration, and I'm really happy the way it went.
Hmm. And so, talking about the fact that you have scored 2 Europa Cup podiums in the 23-24 season, was that something you had intended to do, or were you thinking that it would come in the next seasons and you weren't gonna rush to that result at all?
Well, no, it was a goal. After I saw that in Zinal, I had the level of performing with the best. I knew that I could win. So every race was the goal was to win, which I think is what it should be all the time. But of course, second place, third place, I'm still really happy with that. And there's such a high density in the Europa Cup that is hard, But no, I this season, it was not like it's a bit the same process as what I was saying before. Is that my second year is I did some Europa Cups, but I wasn't on the circuit. So those races I used to, learn about the circuit. Third year really was in the Europa Cup circuit, so I knew that I had my spot. Then I did my best to perform. I performed, and I don't know if you see what I mean, but it's a bit of a learning stage and then performing stage, and this is what I'm hoping to do with the World Cup this year.
Excellent. Yeah. Let's talk about your World Junior Championship experiences. You've been to a couple now, and I believe there'll be another opportunity to go next year.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah. Do you feel that this third one coming in January, February time could possibly be the one where you pick up some medals? Is that a hope for the coming year?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is the time for me to pick up some medals. I missed a few opportunities this year, um, but yeah, it's those races are called the races of the day. So you have to be very good on that specific day, and there's only the top three that counts, because no one really cares about the fourth guy or the fifth guy. So I was the fifth guy this year in GS, and so unfortunately I came out. But yeah, I really hope to have some medals at some point. But it's same process. I'll try to do my best, and then I'll see where that can bring me at. But there's a really high density and very high level in the juniors at the moment. Like even in slalom and GS, like lots of the guys have done already World Cups, which is quite rare to be honest. So there's a really high density, but that's also what's enjoyable. There's high density, there's high pressure, and that's what we enjoy as a professional skier. So we'll see.
Yeah, you seem to have a very positive mindset for the juniors and for the Europa. Will you take that positivity into the World Cup this year?
Well, that's what I'm. Yeah, I think so. I think you have to be positive about everything because, as I said, it's having fun. It's enjoying what you do, and if you don't bring positivity, where will that bring?
Yeah.
It's that, of course there's some hard moments, there's some good moments, but in hard moments you always find positive. In good moments you also find positive and negatives. So it's I think the goal is really to have a good balance, and I mean I've got the support with my family, the coaches, the staff of the French team, which is amazing. So I think they also have this mentality of being positive always and always trying to learn and get better. There's never a bad day. So I hope this will carry on, and I'll use it to my best advantage.
Good.
Do you feel that in this French team that is obviously still very strong and has been historically very strong, that there is almost a change now coming with some older racers. Obviously, we've had the injury to Alexis Pantecourt, which has affected the results, but there's a new wave of GS specifically racers and slalom racers coming through.
Yeah, well, they have opted for a strategic point. Like they've basically introduced really young racers from last year in the slalom groups, which seems to work because all of them scored points in World Cup, and that brought back that density that they were missing in the past years. So they decided to do the same in GS. They have really strong races, some that are really experienced, but in general the group is quite young, and we need that. We need to build that density, and we need to build back that pressure to push at each other at the top. Um, and I think that's the goal of the French team, and they thought a lot about it, but it worked with the slalom, so hopefully it'll work with the GS as well. But the mindset in the team is quite good, the work ethic as well, and we are all quite motivated to do well as a team next year. So we'll do our best, and we'll see where that brings.
Is next year going to be your first in the national team?
Yeah.
So how now are you preparing yourself from that transition to Apex, where you've been working with so many different people from loads of different countries that are all very tight knit, to the national team where potentially a bit more independence is required?
Well, yeah, you're completely right. I think the staff made it a really good job, from Apex and from the French team. They've been communicating very well, to make that transition as smooth as possible. So to be honest, I don't feel lost. Everything has been done well. But of course, this is the main difference: is that we now, being part of the French team and the national group, it's a lot more independent, because it's professional, and we as a team believe that the more the athlete is independent, the more he can perform, because of course you are the one in the start gate, you are the one skiing, you are the one doing the exercise. So at the end of the day, you are the one that needs to know what you're doing. So the staff at the French team is really here to guide us through our progression. It's a bit of a different mindset compared to Apex. Apex is a build up of foundations to bring you to the top. So at Apex, we built that foundations to be, to learn, how to do your skis, how to do the techniques of, in the gym, to do video analysis by yourself, everything like this that you require at a higher level that you reach in the French team. In the French team, it's more of a discussion with the coaches rather than a coaching. It's you give your opinion on how you were there. Your coach gives you an opinion on how you were there, and it's a discussion. And sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't agree, but it's a lot more independent, and you really feel that it's, at the end of the day, it's your project, it's your ambitions, it's you that does this thing. So they are here to guide us through that journey, but they're not here to tell us what to do. You know what I mean?
And do you feel that now, moving on to the French team, where there are some very well established World Cup racers, that those guys can really help you in terms of that World Cup, getting used to it?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Of course, this is the main important thing for me. Being at the training with them, is that I try to learn as much as possible from each guy. They are really experienced. We've got some guys like Mathieu, Victor, Thibaut. they've already done a few years in the World Cup. They know how they work. We've got guys that made medals at the Olympics. You know, it's not something like this. Those have been guys that have been performing a lot. You know, and it's still what they're trying to do. So of course they help us, you know, in the guidance, maybe as much as the coaches do, because you know they show us the way that it should go, and it's really beneficial. And I think that's where the most positive point of being in the World Cup with those guys is.
Yeah, do you feel sort of going into the French team now that obviously you'll get the experience now and you'll get the benefit of their experience? Do you feel that will be helpful to you, or will at first you think it might be a bit of a block that you might be, I wouldn't say afraid, but maybe a little bit not as confident? Do you think that will be?
Well, you know, sorry. You know, it is. I see what you mean, because you know there's still competition, and we are here to compete against each other. It's an individual sport. Um, but I don't know. I'm not sure, to be honest, because I think there will be, of course, some tensions, but there will be some tensions, but with the mentality of the guys and everything, it's um it's a clean tension. You know, there's no tox. This, you know, it's not toxic. It's really clean,
No.
and you know, you were the best today. Well done. You know, tomorrow I'll be, but it's there's a good environment, and that's also what the French team is seeking, because you know they want to push ourselves through this. So so their experience will be used, but they know this, but I think they will also use my, you know, the fact that I'm quite young to push themselves as well. So it's, you know, it's everyone wins. That's the
Yeah.
goal.
You're hoping to keep the old boys on their toes.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm trying. I will try. I will try.
Do you ever remember watching these races at the World Championships and Olympics that you're now working alongside?
Oh yeah, of course. Well, of course. Whenever it's still weird to me, for to be honest, to do sport with them, to be in the same room as them. You know, it's quite special. And what a funny story is that last time we were doing something in the hotel, and there's a young guy that comes in the hotel, which was 7 years younger than me, and I was with Stephen Amier, doing some shit butt stuff, and and what was funny is that this young kid has the same age difference as me and Steven. So we were like, wow, well, maybe this guy will maybe be in the French team with me in a few years. So, and he was tiny, you know, and like it was incredible. So yeah.
Yeah, thinking about the difference between you and someone like Victor Moufat-Gendé, you sort of nearly double the age.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, I think we've got 15 or 16 or maybe 14, I don't know, something around there, age difference. So yeah, but it's good, you know, it's 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 different. This bit of diversity, and we still have fun, and we don't really feel that age difference, to be honest. It's quite, you know, natural and spontaneous.
Hmm.
So.
So when you're settling down and getting properly ready for the start of the season, what are going to be the goals that you are setting for 24-25?
Um, so we do most of our preparation in Ushuaia, in you know, Argentina. So the goal there will, you know, really be on point technically, really be on point with the equipment, which is really a big part of the result in the World Cup. Uh, but to be honest, you know, it's just I'll keep doing what I've been doing. Just still having fun, doing my best, trying to improve, um, and really also get my head ready for this World Cup. Because it's really different. Um, so yeah, just preparing, but as every other season, through working hard, getting that intensity in the runs, um, trying to be stable and pushing to the limit, to see where you can go and how fast you can go, and then I'll see how it goes. It's not a
Yeah, it's funny actually talking to all you athletes, uh, and every one of you, whatever country you come from, whatever standard or level you're at, you all have the same outlook. You know, have fun, work very hard, and respect each other. And I think it's a shame other sports don't have the same thing.
yeah.
Is that one of the things what you like about the sport?
Yeah, well, I think we all have the same basics, but then everyone sees them a bit differently, which is also what makes the beauty in the sport. It's not everyone is the same, and I think that's what I like about it is that everyone, in skiing, for example, every skier has his own turn, every skier has his own technique, every skier has his own style, and that brings that diversity and that excitement whenever you wait for someone to go down. And and in sport in general, it's the same for tennis, same for golf, same for Formula One. Everyone has their own style, but at the end of the day, everyone has the same basics. And so it brings kind of a relationship between all of us sports guys.
Yeah.
And so it's really enjoyable to watch and to do and to share with other sports guys about their sports and all of this. So it's been great.
Mhm. So, looking ahead again to next season, are you gonna still be doing Europa Cups, and how are you gonna find that balance between the Europa Cup and the World Cup circuit, and picking and choosing your races?
So it really depends on the discipline. But in GS, which is my strong discipline, the goal is to try to settle down in the World Cup circuit, but still, keep that bib, because it's really important to still have your spot in the Europa Cup whenever. Um, so I'll still be also doing some Europa Cups, but hopefully it won't last too long. And then in slalom, the goal is to still do some Europa Cups, really try to get those results in. But nowadays it's so hard to reach a high level at the same time in two disciplines. So we've seen it in the past that whenever there's always a guy that comes with their strong disciplines, settle down in the World Cup, and then bring the other one up. And this is what we're trying to do. Settle down in the GS and then bring the slalom up, which I will also be doing a bit of speed. Um, but then it's also finding the timings and all this, because there's a busy season coming up. So
Yeah.
So, have you got keen ambitions to eventually be a two or even three discipline racer?
yeah, well, my big dream is to win the overall globe. But I want to, it's not really about this. It's more about the fact that I think I would get a bit bored doing only one discipline. I enjoy doing different disciplines, changing the radius, changing the speed. That's that also goes with the fun of the sport. Um, so it's also mainly about this, and doing two disciplines in the World Cup is amazing. So this is really the goal. But then, of course, at the back of my head, there's all the thing of the globe and stuff. But this is still quite far ahead, and there's still a lot of work to do to reach that. So
Yeah. Next year you will be on new gear. So talk us about
T-shirt.
the t-shirt.
Send your T-shirt.
Yeah. Always.
Getting the support in early. So are you happy with the decision, and are you looking to now, get used to those head skis?
Yeah. Well, of course, yeah. I'm really happy about it and excited. To create really something with that brand. They are amazing. They're offering just an amazing support, amazing quality equipment. Prototypes. They have ideas. They're developing every day. They're innovating. The factory is also incredible. So yeah, I'm really happy to start working with them. And I guess I'll see where that brings me. But for now, it's been quite good. The skis have been working well. Um, they've been quite fast. So hopefully they'll carry on through the season and through the years, because of course it's now the goal is now to settle for a long term kind of relationship. So yeah.
Yeah, they won the manufacturers trophy last year, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
did.
Well, that's also it's that the skis are working, and they are on a good level. They are,
Yeah.
and they are still motivated. Even if they're winning and they have the best results, they are still eager to develop and to be best, and that's what I really enjoyed. Um, when I met them. So yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all of
Yeah.
the questions?
Yeah.
We can move to the quick fire questions now, Flavio.
Yeah, that's fine.
And we will start with your favorite place to ski.
Ask me hard questions. My favorite place to ski. Am I only allowed to say one?
No, you can say what you want.
So of course I'll say teen, because I've skied in quite a lot of places, and I still enjoy as much as I did when I was younger to ski in teen. Even though I've done the slopes so many times, I still enjoy a good day with the family. Going to restaurant and skiing on the perfect snow that we have up there. So that's good. But I also enjoy skiing in Zolden, which is kind of a place of heart, because this is where I've really got it's where we did our first camp, entering the FIS group, our first really big camp, and I have such good memories of that camp. And it's also where I first saw a different walk up than Val d'Isère, which also made me want to ski even more. So I'd say Zolden. I'll say a third one, which is Saint Anton, and all of the place there. It's massive, and it's really good to see there. So I recommend.
Some good choices there.
Yeah.
Next up, the best moment of your career, in your opinion.
So I'll say first World Cup start in Val d'Isère, which I think was not a hard choice.
No, just
Yeah.
the one needed for them for that
Yeah,
one.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, your best friend in alpine ski racing.
Oh, I'll say Joker on that one. I have really good friends everywhere. Yeah, I've made friends for life at Apex. We've been enjoying it so much, and I'm making friends, very good friends in the French team. But I'll say Joker for this one, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's fine.
So say in 2 years' time, if we were to speak to you again, what would you have liked to have accomplished?
In 2 years' time, okay. So in 2 years' time, there'll be the Olympics. There'll be. So I think I would like to go to the Olympics. That's a big goal, but you know, we need to have big goals and we need to be ambitious. So I'd like to have, you know, to go to these Olympics. And I guess in terms of the World Cup, I'd say maybe, being in the top 30 or even better. Um, just performing and enjoying, being settled down, and it would be amazing if I could fight for the win in 2 years' time. So we'll see.
Yeah, very good. And finally, if there was a racer that you watched when you were younger that you looked at and thought, I want to be an alpine skier, who was that racer?
Um, so I'll say Alexis Pinturo, which is a bit weird saying this now because sometimes I meet him. I'm so always I'm so always really impressed when I meet him. But yeah, he's probably the one that's made me dream the most with Marcel Hirscher. Um, because they were the two ones that were just being incredible on the circuit at that time when I was younger. And Pancho was a French guy, so he's got a good story, and I'm currently reading. Well, I read his book, which was also good. But yeah, he is a good guy, and he's really, I'm trying to get inspired by him. So yeah.
And hopefully you'll be racing alongside them both next season.
Hopefully, yeah. That'll be amazing. I guess this is the season that no one waited, and no one was ready for. So yeah, I hope that I'll really get the chance of racing with all my idols, and it should be probably crazy, I guess. So we'll see.
Well, that is all the questions. Thank you very much for your time,
Thanks to
and
you.
all the very best with next season.
Thank you so
thank you
much.
very much. Thank you very
Thanks
much,
to
and
you.
all the very best. Yeah, I hope you achieve what you want.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome.
All right.
And where are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
We're from England. We're
Okay.
actually in the English Lake District at the moment.
Okay.
So
We don't live up here.
We don't live up here. We're just out on vacation.
Okay.
And the tiny mountains we have in the UK are just outside.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know. I was curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
If you've got any other questions.
Oh yeah. Where will the podcast be published on?
So Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube.
Okay. Can you just let me know? Can you give me like a quick text when it's posted so I can like share it on my social media and all of this?
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for your invitation and yeah.
Thanks for giving us your
Thank
time.
you so much. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the other time, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your boat holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay.
It's really nice.
Oh,
Beautiful
come
and
on.
sunny. So yeah, I'll be enjoying.
Okay.
I'm sure you will.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Well, have a good afternoon. Bye bye.